Let's go. It's about time with Rashawn's About Time Boxing, aka Mr. Trill 100 Mil. What's up to my About Time Boxing family and the Trill 100 Mil gang? Um, Thank you to everybody that has been taking out the time to watch the videos, like the videos, and leave the comments. Thank you to every single person that has subscribed to the channel so far. So thank you guys. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the comments, and the encouragement. Thank y'all. Honestly and sincerely, I really do appreciate y'all. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Pass the word about Rashawn's About Time Boxing. Become part of the About Time Boxing family and the Trill 100 Mil gang. Alright, so it appears now that Jaron Ennis is ranked with the WBA. And he's ranked at number 5, if I'm not mistaken. So now he's ranked with all of the sanctioning bodies. Now they got Victor Ortiz ranked at number 2, and the guy Stanianis, who beat DELORME on April 10th on the Ennis Lip and Yes undercard, he's ranked at number 1. He's ranked at number 1. Now the reason I believe that they got, because Bout's record is better than Virgil Ortiz, but I think the reason that they got Virgil ranked before Boots is because he went to Virgil. If I said Victor, I meant Virgil. Virgil Ortiz went to the Olympics. He went to the Olympics, and Boots, he went to the qualify. He went to the Olympic quarterfinals, to qualify for it, and he lost to one of Gary Russell's brothers. Even though I saw the fight, I thought he won the fight, but I remember when I ran into Boots and his brother Farah Ennis, who was also a professional fighter. I remember Boots was saying that he was going to try to qualify for the Olympics to go, and he said that if he didn't qualify, he said he was going to turn pro, and that's what he did. So he turned pro, and he has his record. I mean, it speaks for itself. 27-0, 25 knockouts, 1 no contest, which is BS. Van Heerden tried to get out of that fight by headbutting him, thinking he was going to cut Boots, but he ended up cutting himself. Boots should have that IBO title, but nonetheless, finally they have him ranked. And so Virgil Ortiz apparently has been calling out Yordenis Ugas. So, and Ugas, was saying something like, I wonder if the fans is going to be mad at me now since I was the last one to fight Manny Pacquiao, before he retired. Listen, Manny Pacquiao was going to retire. Even if he would have beaten Ugas, he was going to retire. Again, this is why I kept telling everybody, why do you think that when Errol Spence had that eye injury and needed that surgery, usually a fight of that magnitude, they'll put it off and postpone it. But they brought in a substitute. They never bring in a substitute when it's a fight of that magnitude. They never do that. Because Pacquiao was saying, listen, this is going to be my last fight either way. Either way. Because he already had plans as, to run for president of the Philippines anyway. But he just wanted to, go out hopefully, with that victory. But he didn't, he didn't get it. But he was going to retire. Even if he would have beaten Ugas, he was going to retire. And he was going to announce that in May that he was going to be running, for president of the Philippines. I mean, not in May, but I'm just saying he was going to announce that he was going to be running for president of the Philippines anyway. So win, lose, or draw, Pacquiao, that was his last fight. And that's why, that's why they didn't postpone the fight with him and Errol Spence, to let Spence take that time to heal and set another date and all that kind of stuff. Because this was Pacquiao's last fight regardless. He wasn't going to fight no more after that. But, I think Ugas just said that because he's just trying to, He's trying to make himself relevant, and if that's a strategic play, I don't knock that. If he doing that to try to make himself relevant, because Ugas is just trying to, he's not going to fight. I think that Virgil Ortiz would get a title shot against Ugas before Jaron Ennis would. Because I said this from day one. I feel like the WBA has been protecting Ugas from Jaron Ennis anyway. So, will Ugas... And honestly, I feel like if he fight... I think Virgil Ortiz will actually beat him too. I think Virgil Ortiz would beat Yordenis Ugas if he fought him. Because remember, they had the guy Gabriel Maestre just not too long ago, 4 professional fights with 3 knockouts. He was ranked number 4 or number 2 or something like that with the WBA. And at that time, Jaron Ennis wasn't even ranked. So what happened? The WBA with y'all saw my video? Y'all saw other people's videos, or posts and stuff talking about, how y'all not ranking certain fighters and y'all shady and how y'all got all these shady people working for y'all. What y'all saw that and said, okay, there's no way. Because I'm saying there's no way. You have, that's what I'm saying. This guy, Gabriel Maestre, 4-0 with 3 knockouts. And he was ranked. It took Boots to get 27, almost 30 fights, 27 fights, just for him to get ranked with them. He was ranked with everybody else. He was ranked with all the other sanctioning bodies. It was just the WBA. So, I mean, and like I said, I think that they are protecting Ugas from Jaron Ennis because they know that Ugas cannot beat Jaron Ennis. He cannot beat him. He can't beat him. He can't. And if Virgil Ortiz won the belt, they wouldn't let Boots and Virgil Ortiz fight right off the bat too. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's sad, but I think that Virgil Ortiz may get some slice of that welterweight crown before Jaron Ennis do, and Boots deserve it. Hands down, he deserve it. He should be a reigning champion right now. He should have been had a title shot. It's sad that, that the politics of boxing, has come to like things like this, where fighters who deserve to be champions or have title shots or to be ranked is not ranked. Why did it take y'all all this time? Boot's been pro for what, 4 or 5 years now? And I bet you any amount of money, when Boots was like 5-0 or 6-7-0, if somebody would have asked the WBA, like, oh well, he's still climbing the charts, still climbing the ladder. He hasn't really done anything yet. We haven't ranked. He hasn't fought enough people yet. But Gabriel Maestre only had 4 fights, and he was ranked that high. And Boots is ranked number 5. Maestre was still ranked over him with only 4 fights. But remember, Boots wasn't ranked at that time. So what was it? Like, what do y'all think? What was it, that made the WBA wake up and say, hey, you know what? We need to rank this Ennis kid, man, because it's going to look bad for us if he ranked with everybody else and he not ranked with us, and then like we gotta fix this. We gotta do something. So yeah, Jaron Ennis finally got ranked with the WBA. Finally. But how long are they going to keep him at number 5? After he beat DELORME, because Stanionis just beat DELORME in April. Now he's ranked number 1 with the WBA. So when Boots beat DELORME October 30th, where's that going to leave him ranked? Is it going to push him up? Is that going to push Virgil Ortiz to number 1? Knock Stanionis down and put Boots up, or are they going to keep Boots at number 5? Because Virgil Ortiz got ranked after his last fight, which was an impressive win, and he actually called out Terrence Crawford. And Virgil Ortiz is another welterweight people need to look out for. He's not nobody to take light. He's not nobody to take light. But, you know, subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, leave the comments, share this video, hit the notification bell, man, and stay up on the latest with Rashawn's Bout Time Boxing. Just tell me, what is it? What do y'all think it was? Why all of a sudden now the WBA, you know, has ranked Jaron Ennis after all this time? After all this time, they finally decided to rank him. Why? Let me know what y'all think. And please, let's keep the comments respectable, y'all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this ain't, you know, we just, you know, because a lot of people, I'm not the only one that said the WBA has been on some BS, on, you know, on that Chris Brown. I'm not the only one that said it. A lot of people have said it. There's been conversations behind closed doors amongst the other fighters about, you know, why Jaron Ennis, you know, has not, you know, why he isn't ranked with them. I even had conversations with his father, with the great Derek Bozy Ennis. I even had, you know, conversations with his dad about it. Like, it's sad that he's not ranked. And he's been given, you know, like one impressive fight after the next, after the next, after the next. But people want him to keep proving that he belongs in there with the elite. How can he prove it if the elite don't want to get in the ring with him? It's the same thing with Virgil Ortiz. How can he prove that? But people to give Virgil Ortiz the benefit of the doubt over a lot of the elite. But how can Virgil Ortiz prove that he belongs in there with the elite if the elite don't want to get in there with him? These guys like, you know, Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, you know, Jalil Hackett, Major Hackett, pay attention to this kid because he's the future coming up. These guys going to have to see him. It's only one way you get to prove that you're the best, by being there with the best. When I used to box, my trainer used to say the only way you're going to get better is by boxing people that's better than you. Not by boxing people you know you can beat or know that you're better than. You got to box people that's better than you. That's how you get better. That's how you prove that you're the best. And it's sad because, again, I said, I feel like Jaron Ennis is going to get a belt by somebody vacating. You know, they might, shout out to one of the people who left the comments, Maya. You know what I'm saying? She was even saying that somebody might have to get stripped of a belt and then give it to Boots. Like, I don't know if this fight October 30th against DELORME is going to be, if Ed Levine, the president of the IBO, is going to put that belt up. I don't know. But Jaron Ennis needs a strap around his waist. They're going to keep feeding him these guys, and people going to say, oh, he need one more step-up fight, one more step-up fight. Like Lipinets fought Mikey Garcia, knocked out Lamont Peterson. You know what I mean? Like, he got some names on his resume, so, you know, and Boots destroyed him like he was nothing. What do you think he's going to do to DELORME? Look at DELORME's last fight against Stanley, who's, again, ranked #1 with the WBA. And he just was beating the brakes off of Thomas DELORME. Honestly, when I was watching the fight, I felt like they should have stopped the fight. I was like, are they going to stop this fight? Because he was not looking good at all. And if he comes in that fight against Jaron Ennis looking like that, that fight is not going to go 5 or 6 rounds. I guarantee it. And see, Boots is going to keep destroying these guys until, you know, because he said he got a point to prove. When he was training for the Lipinets fight, he said, look, I got to show these guys that I'm not to be played with. And so he going to keep destroying these guys. And every time he destroy them, then people were like, oh, well, he wasn't fighting nobody. Well, he destroyed Lipinets. Lipinets is somebody. Now, some people may say, oh, well, no, man, Lipinets, he really just a blown up, you know what I mean, junior middleweight. He really shouldn't have been in there with him. Like, people going to always make up excuses when they want to take credit away from somebody. No, he fought Lamont Peterson, who was a legitimate welterweight. He fought Mikey Garcia, like, you know what I mean? So he proved that he can hold his own in there. He just got in there with somebody that was just too skilled for him. So Boots did what he was supposed to do. And he would have did the same thing to Chris Van Heerden in 2 rounds or less if that headbutt don't happen. 3 rounds or less. And Errol Spence stopped Chris Van Heerden what? In the 8th round? Boots would have stopped him sooner than that. But then when he did that, then everybody talking about, oh, Lipton gets, you know, he ain't the same fighter he used to be and all that. Like, stop making up excuses to take credit away from the way Jaron Ennis is performing. Because he already trains like he's a champion. You would have thought that every time he stepped in that ring, he was defending a title or multiple titles. Because that's how he fights and that's how he trains. These guys are hungry. Virgil Ortiz, hungry. Jaron Ennis, hungry. These guys are hungry. They got a point to prove. But if the elite don't want to get in there with them, then how? Shout out, you know what I mean, you know, to the person who, you know, left a comment and was like, you know, Boots is high risk, low reward. But the thing is this here. Yeah, he's definitely a high risk. But the low reward, I look at it like this. If you are a fighter with a name and you the one that can fill those seats up, whatever your purse is shouldn't affect who you fight. Because fighters with big names fight people that's below them and still cash out. Case in point, look at Canelo. He still made 25 plus million when he fought Avni Yildirim. So it didn't matter because his name, he's the big name. He's the big name. Marcos Maidana, it wasn't no real big name like that when he fought Floyd. But did it affect what Floyd was getting paid? No. So if you a big name and you a champion and you gonna fight Boots, how is it a low reward when your name is gonna guarantee you, you know what I mean, what you would probably ask for anyway, or at least close to what you would want to get paid for fighting him? So high risk, yes. Low reward, I don't agree with it. Because Jaron Ennis is going to be putting asses in them seats. People love to see this kid perform. And if they know he's fighting somebody that's in the elite for a belt, it's going to sell. And it shouldn't affect, you know, what a Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence, you know what I mean, you know, will get paid. Now, as far as Ugas, like Ugas is not that type of guy who can fill an arena. He can't. He just can't. His style, he's boring to watch. I'm sorry. But Yordenis Ugas is boring to watch. You get more excitement in the last round or the last 2 rounds of Boots fighting Ugas. I mean of Ugas fighting Lipton Getz than in Ugas probably last 3 or 5 fights. There's really nothing impressive about him. And if he fought Ennis, the excitement would be coming from what Boots would bring to the ring. So if Boots was the fighter, Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford, you know what I mean? Like those guys, you know, elite or any other fighter that's with a big name that can sell out, even if they're not a champion. Fighting Boots should not affect your bottom line or what you're going to get paid. Now, I know the politics of boxing can sometimes, you know, saturate that and, you know, mess that up. Like, now, honestly, I feel like a high risk, low reward if he was to fight Ugas. Because I don't think they would see, you know, him, you know, like them at any point in them paying him any money. Like, no big money. I'm sure Ugas would get, you know, $1 million or more because he's the champion. You know, but if Boots was to fight Ugas or, you know, the Jamal James, like those guys, you know what I mean? Like they, like Ugas, you know his name, but he's not a seller like a Errol Spence or a Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe even a Sean Porter too. You gotta look at like or Danny Garcia. You look at these big names, like these people, like they would probably get what they wanted. Like if Danny fought Boots, Danny would probably want maybe $3 million. It'd be $3 or $4 million. He would probably get that. He would probably ask for maybe 6 or 7. And they would probably be like, all right, we'll give you 3.5 or 4 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Boots would be the one that would get the low reward because they would have a bigger name than him. But all that's going to change soon. Y'all watch. Y'all watch. Because the same thing Floyd went through. Because remember, nobody thought it was worth it to fight Floyd. When Floyd was calling out Winky Wright, Shane Mosley, and all them guys, and none of them wanted to fight him because everybody was gunning for De La Hoya because he was the golden boy. He was the cash king, the cash cow. Everybody wanted to fight him. But then soon as Floyd beat Oscar, and then Floyd became that guy, then all of a sudden, them same fighters Floyd was calling out, they started chasing him and talking about Floyd don't want to fight me because he know I do this, he know I do that. But when Floyd was fighting at 130, 35 pounds, 140, he said from 154 on down, you bring him to me and I'll beat him. And he's done that. So the same way they felt like, Floyd wasn't worth it until he had that defining moment, same thing is going to happen with Boots. He going to have that one defining fight that's going to change the gauntlet. It's going to switch the whole joint around. Then all of a sudden, Boots going to be the guy that everybody now, all of a sudden, because they going to want to get paid, they going to want to fight him. See, that's why people shouldn't forget Keith Thurman. He still ain't learned a lesson from that. When Errol Spence was calling him out, he too green, he not ready. Let him get a belt first. Let him get some more experience. He got the belt from Kell Brook. He said, I got a belt now. He still was making up excuses, didn't want to fight him, making up all these lies and stuff and all that. And then finally now, Keith Thurman is becoming irrelevant. And Spence got the belts. Now what you see videos of Thurman talking about, yeah, this is why Spence don't want to fight me. Because he knows that one time, see, Errol Spence scared to fight Keith one time Thurman because he knows that one time had the recipe to beat him. He knows that one time, he knows that if he gets in there with me, he knows that I got the power. I could knock him out. I could do the Errol Spence scared of one time. He's scared. Now he talking about Spence scared of all that kind of stuff. But how soon do you forget when he was calling you out and you didn't want to give him that shot, claiming that you wanted to, but you never had no intention on it and you didn't, and now you want to outside looking in. See, this is what people be forgetting. So Boot's gonna have that defining moment in his career, that fight. And it's a shame because most fighters have already got to that point with less fights than Jaron Ennis. And he has been successfully giving the fans and the audience, show after show after show. Great performances, giving the crowd what they want to see. So it's coming. But, I would say kudos to the WBA for ranking Jaron Ennis, but y'all don't deserve it because he should have been ranked anyway. So y'all don't get no pat on the back or no points from me for that because he should have been ranked with y'all. So I guess y'all don't want to lose out because y'all see it coming. Y'all see his stardom rising. Y'all see it, and y'all don't want to be the people to miss out. Y'all don't want him to say, when he gets to a point where, you know what, yeah, I'm going to go after every belt except the WBA. I don't want their belt. I don't care. But whatever the case is, but something made y'all wake up to where y'all, now all of a sudden y'all want a ranking. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share this video, and let me know what y'all think about the WBA finally ranking Jaron Boots Ennis after, it's been well deserved for years.